Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books for Kids. I'm doing the Anything But Book Tag. Lady Jane Books asked me to do this one 3 years ago, and I wasn't too keen on book tags. Though with this channel, I think book tags is a good way to go. So I'll leave a link to Lady Jane Books at the end of this video. But for now, let's get into it. Question 1. Name a cartoon you like. Well, I always say hold on to your childhood. Don't grow up too fast. And you got to hold on to it because there's something you can learn from different points of your childhood. I enjoyed Inspector Gadget. Loved the show as a child. It was engaging. The villain was something else. And he had a lot of potential. I also found the take on the movie. Yeah, the Dr. Claw villain wasn't too bad, but it could have been heaps better. The movie was a letdown and it made me disown my childhood. And then there was a sequel movie that was even worse because it became an Australian production. And it was such an advertised thing, but again, what the hell? So, yeah, it was a bit of a hard time to accept. Though in some years later, I have moved on and I still hold on to that part of my childhood. Dr. Claw was also an engaging villain because you never saw his face.
Which, if you finally wanted to know what Dr. Claw looked like, you had to buy the figure. So, what does Dr. Claw look like then? Well, he looks like Malcolm McDowell in his older post-A Clockwork Orange days.
Dr. Claw, Inspector Gadget's arch nemesis, is actually the real Inspector Gadget.
Number 2, favourite song right now. Being my anniversary and having some time with my spouse listening to music, one song that is always a fun one to listen to is We Will Rock You by the band Five, not Queen. I enjoy their interpretation of the song and what they did. There was so much energy in the performance. So there is something you can share with music, and that's something that I've always enjoyed, that we do go through different phases of what we like and what we don't like. Question 3. Something you can do for hours that isn't reading. Listening to music. I can never get enough, especially on a weekend when it is with my spouse and it's just the two of us. We have a nice outdoor patio. It's just a nice area to chill out. I enjoy Pepsi Max, not alcohol. But that's the whole thing. It's just enjoying the companionship of each other and our own environment. So yeah, that's something I could do for hours, and that's one of the reasons to keep working on what we're doing with the business, is to have more time for each other instead of allowing day jobs to take us over. And because I also do nursing, my body clock is in all different systems. I even just recently had Faceless Book Reviews ask me, do you ever sleep? And that's an interesting question because I don't even know how to answer that one myself. Question 4. What do you like doing that your followers would be surprised in knowing? One thing I absolutely love, besides cooking food, is washing dishes. I know that is so strange. I enjoy it. I have worked previously as a dish pig in Sizzlers years ago, but you can't make a living out of that type of job, and there's no profession to do it. And even if you're running your own business, you're too busy with other things. But I absolutely enjoy washing up. I like soaking things in the hot soapy water and scrubbing. Yeah, I know it sounds strange, but doing dishes. I even say to my wife all the time, she talks about cleaning up and I say to leave it to me, you're taking my fun away. Question 5. Favourite unnecessary specific thing to learn about? Well, I think there is something that is necessary with everything that we do. Therefore, it's hard to actually answer that question, though I do like some of the other content of the Joker in different adaptations. However, a lot of that I won't review on this channel. I'll leave that for the adults channel. Number 6. What is something unusual that you can do? Well, one thing I do enjoy is worm farming. I do believe it's not that unusual. I do think it should be taught in a lot of mainstream education. I've seen other YouTube channels that do decomposing with worms in their basements because it's snowy outside most of the year. So that's something that I do enjoy. That's just my opinion anyway.
There's really nothing like this out on the market right now. This is a real job that guys could really expect to be able to learn in here and do out on the streets.
Question 7. Show us something that you've created recently. Well, I went to a Scouts event with my son and everyone got to participate. It was also said, better luck next time with your boomerang. It wasn't his, it was mine. So I actually did try to make a design. If you look around, you can see some kind of design to it. I tried. Question 8. Something you think about often. Well, it would have to be my spouse and my son. I am separated from my son's mother, but my spouse that I'm with, wonderful years. We've just celebrated 7 years together. The best years that I've ever known. And it's just, there's a whole different life that you experience when you're not dealing with other people's drama. And that's one of the biggest things to be thinking about all the time, is building Hypersanity Books as our parent company, and Hypersanity Books for Kids is part of that. So there is a lot of things that's on my mind all the time. I do have a lot of time that I utilize to work more so from home now, and I'm working on some other book projects, but mostly my mind is in some sort of way of thinking all the time, because there's just that part of a life of what we want where we're not tied down to other people's drama, and there's just something more when you have something nice to share with someone else. And I do have a lot of good quality time with my son when I have him, that the outside world is not interfering. And with what we're doing with Hypersanity Books, there is so much of a potential open to work in with others, and if we need to set boundaries, it's not too hard to set boundaries. Question 9. Something that is your favourite. I would have to say I like dehydrating herbs and spices. I work on making a few different mixes, so one thing I've done is 30 different ingredients, and someone else that I worked with said that she's just put it over on a lamb roast over the weekend. Even though is some rosemary and pizza thyme, it's not thyme, but pizza thyme is actually what the herb's called. So there is a lot of different things that I've worked with. I also, with my spouse, when we were co-workers, I dehydrated some herbs and put it into a mix, but she was off work that day. So I put it into a locker with a strainer, and I put on it chocolate mint. Little did I know there was a bit of an inspection that went through, and there was a misinterpretation to the herb called chocolate mint. And yeah, it was not a nice incident with the police called, though clearing things up. It was not a nice day at work in my old job, which was Kentucky Fried Chicken. Not that I want to brag working there, but hey, you got to make a living. Question 10. Say the first thing that comes into your mind. Okay, I just got to play this little bit of footage because this is what comes into my mind every time I'm asked this question.
I couldn't help it. It just popped in there.
So, Ghostbusters. Yes, I will always think about that. And then my mind starts to wander. So one of the other things that comes to mind is I did a review on the other channel about the original book, the novelization, to the movie, because it was translated from the original scripts and deleted scenes. So with certain deleted scenes that have come out and other information to what's in the novelization, oh my gosh, this book is not for children at all. It's actually borderline into something that's quite vulgar, especially with the sexual content that is mentioned. And I'm only sort of saying that within this channel as a warning. Don't read it. Though, the Ghostbusters 2 novelization, absolutely a fantastic read. It was quite surprising because there was a bigger story arc. You have Peter Venkman as a protagonist, and Lewis Tully is not just a tritagonist, he's more of a protagonist, the way he's portrayed. So in the movie Frozen Empire, there was a bit of a story with Trevor's character trying to catch Slimer, though that happened in Ghostbusters 2. And with this little bit of dialogue from a deleted scene, there's something else that's confirmed.
That ghost guy came in and took that little baby away. It was just a scared little baby.
Then go to the police, Louis.
Are you okay?
Give me a heart attack. What are you doing there?
Well, I was just trying to catch that stinky green guy.
Oh, he's all right.
So yes, Ghostbusters 2 was more like the real Ghostbusters movie, and the novelization to Ghostbusters 2 was fantastic. So when I get asked the question to answer what's in your head, please don't, because my mind can go into so many different directions and tangents, and once you're inside my head, you're not going to get back out. Otherwise, that's it for today. Hit like, subscribe, comment. I'll be leaving a link to Lady Jane books at the end of this video, also to Faceless Book Reviews. I've engaged with him most frequently, and he is a wonderful channel to follow. Lady Jane Books, I followed her when I started the original channel, Hypersanity Books. Though, as I have said previously, Hypersanity Books is for the adult audience, and Hypersanity Books for kids is for everyone. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.